Hey, this is Carl from Oak Ridge. I just thought I'd give you an update what's going on. Um, we today we finally finished up on stuff on the S10 today. I do want to do it in the garage yet because I got too much stuff in the truck. So I got to go to the landfill, and I got my garage in this. So sorry about that, Ed. Thought I'd talk to you real quick about the plans on what we're going to do with the what I'm going to do with the S10, and I came up with a solid plan, and this is the final one. It took some decisions to make on it. And one of them is I'm going to be looking for the L20 uh, 4.8 liter V8 with the VVT stands for variable valve timing, and with a flex fuel system on there too as well. Um, this took some deciding to do and we worked around. I thought I was going to go to the steering column, shifter lever. That's changed for sure. I'm going to do the floor shifter conversions now and stick with that. I got to cover that hole up once I get that console out for the full drive shifter system on there, released there, and get that out of there when I take the cab off in bed. It was a final decision, easy one because I thought I was going to be able to, couldn't do anything, but really looking at it, I want the floor shifter and do everything I needed to do to, excuse me there, to do what I needed to do. I didn't know. I was kind of confused with it or what I can do. The emissions part of it I can deal with. So that's what I'm going to do and on that part. But I went ahead and I'm going to go with that between the 2010 and the 20 or to the 2013 4.8 liter, the LSV8 and the Vortex as they call it, and it's going to be the L20. Still using the 20 gallon gas fuel tank on there, the one I have for the internal baffling, which is from another system with the fuel injection. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take off the gas, the carbureted old style tank out and probably put it up, sell it, and recoup some money, or what I can anyway. And I finally found out that hopefully this is true. I'm still looking on it, but I'm going to go with the 7.6 25 inch rear end from between the 98 and 04 shipping STM Blazer. It seemed better with 30 spline on there. Is what I've looked up on there. I'm kind of hesitant on it, but I'm going to look through. I'm going to go through with that with rear disc brakes. I think that's going to be really cool with that. And then the 91 Bravada front differential, which is a 7.2 or a 7.3 inch front differential solid one. I'm going to be using that as Bravada. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Got that confused there a little bit. I am using the Bohr Warner 4472 transfer case out of Bravada. I'm not using the 700R. I was anticipating doing that. I didn't just do mechanical, but I'm going to go with the flow. I go with the flywheel fly-by-wire, which is the FDW, which I'm going to do. That's what I want to do. This is going to be the first phase because the second phase I'll get to here after discussing what I'm doing, what my plans are and stuff. So I'm starting to look for parts this month. I am getting the floor shifter for that out of a second gen Blazer forward job because it's a touch button. So this makes it a little simplicity for it. And with application, if that's necessary, I'll be doing that. So that's that part there. Those are dime a dozen with the floor shifters from second gen, probably from I'm saying I'm assuming from 94 to 2004, maybe 96 through 2004 or 98 plus 04, whatever you want to go with that. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. So I'm scrapping the power booster out of the second gen SM Blazer or Western truck and go with a heavy duty 25 to 3500, either Sierra or Silverado. That was for the hydro boost. I'm going with that. So that's a GM part I might go through with that. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I figure I'm going to go with it. Might as well go all the way. I know there's a lot of room, tight edge room on it, but that's where I want to go. This was the decision I want to do, and I'm sticking with it this time. I thought when I went over to the salvage yard, go back a little bit, I was going to find things I didn't want to do, but what happened was there were things, but not the first 1082 to 85 S10 tilt shifter lever column, and I decided to retreat and rethink about what I was going to do with that issue. And that issue was to just go to the floor shifter console system of second gen Blazer. I should say between the 94 through 04 WSM Blazers. That's one of the word. And the 7.625 inch, which is technically 7.6. They were saying a 7.5, but it turns out to be there's a 7.6 rear end with 30 spline with a GU6 gears, if I can find it that way, instead of the 373 gears. And there was another code, or RPO code that I should have written that down, but I'm sorry. That there is going to be a lot better. It's not the step up to the 8.5 inch non-ZR2 S10 truck rear end or Blazer, or the non-ZR2 8.5 inch rear end drum brakes. I want disc brakes, so I'm sticking with the 7.6 inch rear end on there, rear disc brakes, and which is going to have the inner head drums on there for the e-brakes, which is fine. Deal with that. I will be putting probably, if it has the G80 in it, I won't have to worry about putting an Eaton track posi, split posi on there. So we'll see when I go through this as a process. The truck itself can be 7.5 inch, but I am going to do a model pre-runner setup, which won't have a socket front or rear bumpers. I'm going to try to build a tubular front and rear bumper, and probably the LED signals implemented into the front tubular front bumper with the protection bar in the front, of course, and off-road, light off-road driving light, LED solid wide night light for when you're doing off-road on it, light off-road. And that's what I'm planning on doing. It won't change. Those things are not cheap, but I'm going to get it. Vacancies I have in it already. Going with the 91 through the 93 air conditioning setup for the Blazer S10. Have that set up with the Hollies half. If I do those spark coils for coil packs that go into each cylinder, so I'll be doing that. Hopefully that's what I'm planning on doing. So there's a lot of stuff that I've already planned out to do. It's been in my head, and I've written it down. It comes apart, I go get the parts, start working on the truck now. I will be doing, on my way over to the salvage yards. I won't be able to go in there because they won't let me do it. And I fast on it. And the salvage yards I'll go to won't allow it. So I'll do it before going in, after I get the product, after I get the part that I'm looking for. And the next thing is probably when I do the cluster on there, it's going to have the Dakota digital cluster, which is all electronic. Excuse me, I'm trying to do. And other than that, I'm probably doing, it's probably going to be two synchronized things there because of the floor shifter from the second gen Blazer, S10 Blazer. Though I'm going to have two best worlds. I don't know how that will work on that. Because I'll figure that out with the SSS to the transfer case on the BorgWarner one for 4472. I don't know yet. This is new to me. I'm used to rear wheel drive cars and four-wheel drive trucks to a certain point, but I haven't really worked on them. So this is going to be new to me. The cars I have worked on are putting the engines in, transmissions in, drive shafts, taking them out. Never done this setup before with a tight engine compartment, which I'll know as I go along. It's not going to be easy, but I'll do it. And they recommended the H353 V8 oil pan as a specific number. I've written down here, and if I got that correct, don't have it on here. I thought I did, but so I have to write that down, and that's worked out on that. And I'm using my my chrome 15x7 inch aftermarket racing American racing rims on there. I'm gonna paint those probably turbo black on there. But, on there that's rust proof. This is I'm not gonna have no middle caps on it. Being that the application I'm going for the first race is going to be a stalker to get all these bugs worked out. The components and the wiring is going to be a tough one because I've never had to go far into this wiring before. But I've got the manuals on the S10, the first gen S10s through 82 through 94, 93, 94 around there, and then I'm going to get familiar with it. But it will have AC on there. It won't have the LS AC. It'll have the first gen S10, the 91 to 93 air compressor, or the tank, the condenser, the hoses. It should be able to pull right up, but the compressor will be on top on the right side of the engine of the LS V8. So I know I'm going to have fun at that application, but I don't care. I want this truck to run, so I got to do everything right. Now, the transmission cross member, I'm going to deal when it comes to that. That's going to be a surprise for me. But I got to get the motor mounts when I tear it down to the frame, because that's my goal, is to tear down to the frame and get that reconditioned, resurrected on there to fit the 4L60 transmission to that 4.8 liter LSV8 with a VVT and flex fuel system. And the I got to really look at the motor mount kit for the S10 V8s. I am going to second gen S10 components. The suspension system, power steering box, upper and lower control arms, and the sway bar and all that. I heard is thicker than the first gen ones. I'm going with that. I'm going to have the second gen spindles where you can put the dual piston calipers on there with the disc brakes, and the brakes on the Blazer, the 98 plus the Ford Blazer, Chevy Blazer, the best 7.6 rear ends on it with 30 spline and with the one piston calipers and disc brakes in there. With the or they had drums on there for the brake. That's what I'm gonna go with. I almost wanted to go down to electric motor power steering, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna keep it as a stock. My hydraulic pump under the pressure pump, so that's what I'm gonna do with the T on there. They said they use the T. I'm already looking into that, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm also going to still put the black party that cast iron manifolds from the Hollies deal there. And I came up with a solution to this exhaust system. I will have the 2.5 inch wide pipe exhaust pipe for the cats, all the 4 OBD sensors, and have the a white cap that goes a connector to the 3-inch single exhaust pipe with the straight through pipe muffler, thrush rattler muffler, go to the axle, and then kind of it's going to be on the passenger side, so then go over the axle and then go out where that leaf spring is, and have the Corvette there, and that's what I'm going to do with that. A white tip in there, so that's what I'm going to do with that 3.5 inch. Then I have to be compatible with that, and also with something else I had to do on there. I would it was something to do with electric fans. So there have 2 wires that would hook up for it, and I have to see what they go with the 660 amp or the 230 or 240 amp alternator on there. All those are going to be silver team built, so it's going to be where I need to have it. The drum brakes are out. The rear drum brakes are out. I'm going with the disc brakes. That's final decision. No ifs about one. I'm not backing out of that one. Itself, I'll keep the stock tail lights. I'm just going to put LED bulbs in them, refurbish and recondition them. And the tail lights, I'm going to give her the ones I have, the aftermarket ones. They would work, but I don't see it that way. I'm going back to the stocker setup on that. But it won't have the, like I said, the rear bumper. I'm going to put a tubular one and make sure I put in for the plate mount and plate light into where the mount is, and then put a toe pitch on there. Probably that'll go to the frame and have somebody wire that up. I'm not too much into expertise on wiring that much, but the serial I am, so we'll see how that goes. And if it gets too complicated, it goes to the I'll send to the mechanic to do electrical work, I guess. Don't know yet, and I haven't got that far yet. I went ahead and I got some prices on some parts, pretty cheap. Thought it was gonna be more expensive, but it looks like I can. Um, so that's what I'm doing there. I am using the EVAP system on there. That's required on it for that 48 LS on there. That's what I'm gonna probably do. Um, I think a lot of stuff to it. A lot of stuff I didn't even realize I was going to be doing. It's you go through these processes, changes, or I can do this, I can do that. Then I'm thinking something's going to work because my goal on the second phase, which I'll get to here in a minute, will be 450 horses with a VVT system. Try to check something out here. So that's when I'm on that there, and I'm working on the Gemini, which probably people have criticized me for it, but I look at the Gemini, looking at Google information, and I'm going to go with the 98 plus 204 7.6 inch rear end with the rear disc brake calipers, one piston calipers, the inner hat drum system for the heat brake, and I think I do believe the brake lines will fit. So hopefully they fit everything. They bolt right up. It'll be fine. You should be able to bolt right up to my leaf springs. They said keep my leaf springs in there. So I want to put new bushings in there onto the leaf springs so I can button those up after recondition the everything basically. And also I got to get new doors on here, so I'm going to replace those. I'll get those at the salvage yard. They're a dime a dozen out there for this chance. You should be able to fit. And then I'm using the same panels, the door locks and everything converted to those doors so I can be able to shut the doors, lock them up. The rust is too bad. It's I could go through all the work, but I just don't see it feasible for me to go through the work and replace those panels to the door and redo condition of the door. I'm just going to get another set of doors, put in a vent hammer and get stickers for those doors and what spec for it and everything else. So that's what I'm going to do. A lot of stuff hasn't gone along. It's just to get it running. The paintwork and bodywork come later. I just want to get it legalized so I can be able to drive it and run it on the flex fuel, which I'm running E85, and I'll be running probably 91 to 93 octane gasoline and do what it's supposed to do and have air conditioning. I don't know on the radiator yet because I'm going to use the 84 original factory radiator supporter, so I might have to do a fabrication, which should be pretty easy. I'm probably going to give me probably not new, but use small welder to do all that and exhaust work, so that's probably what I'm going to do. But everything shipped in last year. Well, the Bravada way they came out in the 91 is the best one option to get because it's cast iron set up in. It should have the GU6 gears on it. I won't know for sure until I look at the RPO codes when I go to look and get those rear ends and the front differential, basically rear end and front differential. So that'll be a little different, but if I do it right, it should be able to handle what my goal is in the phase 2. This is just the first phase, and probably. The inner fender walls will be probably sprayed with rubber liner in there, and the rest of it's going to be rust-proof paint coating on there on the frames after I clean it up and recondition it, and the radiator support. So once I get that going, but that's what's up now. I'm just going to start getting parts. This is I got a mess in the garage on the couch, and we're going to get rid of another. That spring clean comes up. You have to do it, So that's where it's at right now. So I thought I'd give you guys an update on it. The phase 2. Is going to be when I take the motor training out and build the guts on it, but it's going to have 4 pistons where I'll be able to get a cam for the VVT system because I don't want to delete it. I'll just keep it on there, and the Texas BSB performance cam, I think compatible with the VVT system, the variable valve timing system. So it'll be able to handle the flex fuel. So that's where it's at now. So that'll be in phase 2 right now. It'll be just from dealing with phase 1 is just get the truck running as a stocker. All the fuel lines are probably going to be upgraded fuel lines to go implemented there. I'm going to go with the power booster platform. I'm going with the Hydro Boost out of a 20 to 3500 out of HD, either Silverado or Sierra GMC. How they got that set up? That's what I'm going. And I'll probably use those lines for that to that steering box. The steering box is going to have the splines are going to be different, so I have to get the aftermarket one from Holly. So that's the same thing with the AC evaporator tank and the evaporator to put on the right side, so I'll be able to have access to the individual coil packs on the spark system. So that's what's up right now, and that's what I'm keeping an eye. I'm going to just 3-inch out from the wide pipe. There's a single wide pipe straight through the straddle muffler and go over the axle to the on the passenger side to turn out with a Corvette tip at 3.5 inch, I think. So that's going to be it on that. So there's a lot of stuff to do, and I'm going to probably put better shocks and the torsion bars. I don't have springs on them, the torsion bars to adjust, and that's what I'm going to do. But right now, that's where it's at on the first phase, getting it running. Let's take a wimble. Flow shifter, LS48 VVT, flex fuel system with 4L60E. Probably go with the aftermarket or just go with stock radiator for now. AC, all that stuff. And then front and rear bumper, tubular one instead of stock one. So I'll keep you informed of everything else. And as I'm going along, as I'm going to get parts, I'm working on it. So I'm going to be doing reports. I am not a good editor at it whatsoever. I don't know how I'll get somebody to do it, but it's as I'm going along. So that's what's up now, and that's the project I'm concentrating on. Check out my videos, my old videos on at Wolf Garage S10 on Wolf Garage, and subscribe is basically appreciated. Just what not, check it out. So be there, be square, peace, yeah. Check out later.